welcome back to our journey through the grand library of literary history. Today, we're stepping into a world where everything you thought you knew gets turned on its head. We're diving into the dizzying, dazzling, and often disorienting realm of postmodernism. So, what's the big idea? If modernism was about finding new ways to tell a story in a fractured world, postmodernism throws its hands up and asks, is there even a story to tell? And what if there's no fixed meaning at all? This era, kicking off after World War II, is where literature gets really playful, and sometimes a little bit mischievous. Think of it like this: you're in a hall of mirrors. You see yourself, but also 1,000 fragmented reflections. Which one is the real you? Postmodern authors would say, does it even matter? They love to break the fourth wall, wink at the audience, and mix high art with pop culture. They're not just telling you a story, they're constantly reminding you that you are reading a story. This self-awareness, or metafiction, is a hallmark of the style. One of the key concepts is the rejection of what are called grand narratives. These are the big, overarching stories that societies use to tell themselves to make sense of the world, stories about progress, religion, or science, always leading to truth. Postmodernism is skeptical of all that. It suggests that these grand narratives are just stories, and maybe not very reliable ones. Instead, it celebrates the small, personal, and often contradictory stories that make up our lives. It's a world of multiple truths, not one single truth, with a capital T. Let's talk about some of the techniques they use to achieve this. Fragmentation is huge. You might get a story told out of order, from multiple conflicting viewpoints, or pieced together from diary entries, news clippings, and random thoughts. It's like a collage. The author gives you all the pieces, but you have to figure out how or if they fit together. Irony is another favorite tool. Postmodern writers use it to create a sense of distance and to question the sincerity of everything, from heroic characters to emotional moments. It's a way of saying, we've seen this all before. Let's not take it so seriously this time. A fantastic example of this is Samuel Beckett. While he's often placed as a late modernist or a bridge to postmodernism, his work perfectly captures this new feeling of uncertainty. Take his famous play, Waiting for Godot. Two characters, Vladimir and Estragon, wait endlessly for someone named Godot, who never arrives. The play is repetitive, seemingly pointless, and stripped of any traditional plot. What does it mean? Well, that's the question. It's a powerful statement about searching for meaning in a world that might not offer any. The play itself becomes a mirror for the human condition, questioning our own waiting and our own search for purpose. Then you have writers who fully embrace the chaos. Think of Salman Rushdie. His novel Midnight's Children is a perfect example of postmodern flair. The narrator, Salim Sinai, is born at the exact moment of India's independence, and his life story becomes intertwined with the history of the nation itself. But this isn't a straightforward historical novel. It's a whirlwind of magic realism, where characters have supernatural powers, the timeline jumps around, and the narrator is completely unreliable. Rushdie uses this sprawling, chaotic style to show how history isn't one neat story, but a messy, contested collection of voices and memories. He's not just telling a story about India. He's questioning the very act of storytelling itself. Another key figure is the Argentinian writer Jorge Luis Borges. His short stories are like intricate intellectual puzzles. He writes about fictional books, imaginary worlds, and libraries that contain every possible book. In stories like The Garden of Forking Paths, he plays with ideas of time, reality, and infinity. Reading Borges feels like stepping into a labyrinth where every path leads to another question, another possibility. He makes you realize that the world of fiction is limitless and that reality itself might be just another story we unstructured. This spirit of playfulness also extends to blending genres. Postmodern authors love to mix things up. You might find a detective novel that suddenly becomes a philosophical essay, or a science fiction story that uses the style of an 18th century romance. Don DeLillo does this brilliantly. His novels tackle contemporary American life, consumerism, media, technology, but in a way that feels strange and hyper-real. In White Noise, a story about a chemical spill and a family's obsession with death, he blends dark comedy, social satire, and genuine moments of dread. He shows how the constant barrage of information and advertising in our modern world shapes our deepest fears and desires. Postmodernism also challenges the idea of originality. A technique called pastiche is common, where writers imitate the style of other genres or authors, not to make fun of them, but as a way of playing with old forms. It's like a chef taking a classic recipe and adding their own wild ingredients. Think of Quentin Tarantino's films. He borrows from old kung fu movies, spaghetti westerns, and crime thrillers to create something new and exciting. Postmodern literature does the same, creating a rich tapestry woven from all the stories that came before. So, where does this leave us, the readers? It can be challenging, for sure. A postmodern novel might not give you the satisfying, tied-up ending you're used to. It might leave you feeling a bit lost or confused. But that's the point. It wants you to be an active participant. It invites you to question, to interpret, and to find your own meaning in the beautiful chaos. It's a literature that doesn't give you answers, but teaches you to ask better questions. It reflects our own world, a world saturated with media, where truth is often up for debate, and reality can feel stranger than fiction. From the mind-bending puzzles of Borges to the historical epics of Salman Rushdie and the existential questions of Beckett, postmodernism opened up a new frontier for literature. It declared that there are no rules, no limits, and certainly no fixed meaning. It's a celebration of fragmentation, irony, and the endless playful possibilities of storytelling. It's a reminder that sometimes the most interesting journey isn't the one with a clear destination. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the postmodern world. It's a complex topic, but hopefully, this gives you a good starting point to explore some of these incredible authors. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures in literature. See you next time.